The 2013-14 San Antonio Spurs were a legendary team, to say the least. They had an incredible starting lineup featuring some of the greatest players in the league, adding that team with an amazing coach by the name of Greg Popovich. Now, their starting lineup that season was Tony Parker, who was a great point guard, Danny Green, who was a decent shooting guard, Kawhi Leonard, one of the greatest small forwards to play today, Tim Duncan, who hit his peak earlier in his career but still put up good stats, and for center, you had two players, Boris Diaw, who started in 24 games, and then this guy, Tiago Splitter, a 6'11", 245-pounder straight out of Brazil. He started his basketball career in Spain and then came to the NBA. So, was he good? Well, yeah, until he left the Spurs, then lasted in the league for another 2 years. So how do you go from a starting center of a championship team to out of the league just 3 years later? How is everybody doing today? It's Portello back with another video. Today, I'm going to talk about Tiago Splitter and what happened to him. Let's not waste any time, and let's get straight into it. Tiago Splitter's basketball career began back in 1999. In the year 2000, Splitter ended up signing a contract where he was playing in the Liga ACB, the highest level league in Spain, and he really started getting attention in both 2006 and 2007. Before that, from 2003 to 2005, he didn't improve much, but in 2006, he won MVP in the Spanish Super Cup tournament. Same goes for 2007. Now, as for regular season stats in Spain, it wasn't anything crazy. In the 2005 to 2006 season, he averaged 10 points, 4 rebounds, and not even an assist per game in 29 games. Now, in the Liga ACB, they only played 34 games during the regular season, so it's safe to say that Splitter was healthy throughout the season. Now, he would last in the Liga ACB for 3 more years, and let's just say that he improved every year. 2009 to 2010 was his last year in Spain, where he averaged 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Then the next season, he would declare for the NBA draft. He was only 25 years old and declaring for the draft. Look, 25 is old for declaring for the draft. I would say most players are in their primes at 25 and should try declaring for the draft at around 20, but that's just my opinion. And with the 28th pick of the first round, the San Antonio Spurs selected Splitter. He would sign a contract with them for 3 years. So let's get right to his NBA career now and see how it started. In his rookie season, he was obviously a bench player. He played in 60 games, started in 6 of them, and averaged 4 points, 3 rebounds, and no assists per game. So not great stats for a rookie. Moving on to year number 2, Splitter would perform better as in 59 games, he averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist per game. He's making progress, but still isn't incredible. Now in year number 3, or to be more specific, the 2012-13 season, he was really put to the test. They made him the starting power forward and moved Tim Duncan to center. And this was Splitter's best year of his career. He averaged 10 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist per game. Yeah, that was his best year. Nothing crazy, but he still made progress that year. Until the following season, where his points per game dropped by 2. In 2013-14, the year the Spurs won the NBA Finals, Splitter, who started in 50 games, averaged 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist per game. For a starter, this isn't great, but the Spurs didn't really have any other center to choose from. Duncan was a power forward most of the year, and Boris Diaw wasn't a great center, so Splitter's time to shine didn't really go as planned. Then 2014-15 was the last year that Splitter played with the San Antonio Spurs, and in 52 games, starting in 35 of them, he averaged another 8 points and just 4 rebounds per game. A center getting 4 rebounds a game is terrible, so San Antonio decided to get rid of him. And this is where Splitter's career was starting to fall apart. In the summer of 2015, he was traded to the Atlanta Hawks for draft rights and a second-round pick. Now, Splitter only played in 36 games that year, and the reason to him not playing was the fact that he suffered some injuries. In February of 2016, he was out for the season due to surgery repairment on his hip. Then in October, he was out for a month due to a hamstring strain. But it gets worse. After an MRI that was done, they noticed that Splitter also had a calf strain. That would increase his recovery from 4 weeks to 6 weeks. And then came his last year in the NBA, 2017. He was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers in exchange for Ersan Ilyasova. The Hawks also gave up a second-round pick to get him. Splitter spent some time down in the G League playing for the Delaware 87ers. He would get called up and make his debut with the team. He only played in 8 games and averaged 4 points and 2 rebounds. And that was it for Splitter. That was his last year in the NBA. Not a great one. A year later, he would announce his retirement from the league and mention the reason to that retirement was due to hip surgery. But Splitter didn't quite leave the league. You see, in 2018, he was hired by the Brooklyn Nets to be a pro scout. Then in 2019, he was promoted as the player development coach. He still has that role to this day. So now that we know where he came from, how he came to the league, how his career went, and what's happened afterwards, let's talk about how he could have lasted in the league a bit longer. Now, the obvious reason is because of his hip injury. If he never had that, he would have been in the league longer. Now, even though he wasn't a valuable asset to a team, he was still helpful as a backup center, for example. And let's just say that this hip injury was the nail in the coffin. That's what caused his career to start falling. But another reason, which is what I think was a problem, is the fact that Splitter came into the league at a late age, 25. Most players come into the league in their early 20s or late teenage years. Splitter came in at 25. Guys are normally in the center or beginning of their prime at 25. So I believe that Splitter should have tried coming into the league at a younger age. If he came in at like 20 years old, then that would be perfect. Splitter's career only lasted 7 years. Imagine if at 20 years old he came into the league. That's 5 years he could have had to improve. Now, I know people will tell me that Splitter wouldn't have made the league, but I think before deciding to play in Spain, he should have tried declaring for the NBA. And if he went undrafted, then I would go to Spain and try to make a return to the NBA. So there you have it. From a good player in Spain to an average player in the NBA to a man that works for the Brooklyn Nets. That is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, please consider to leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. I'm out.